The 70s were an era booming with bold ideas and a spirit of personal freedom, even in how people decorated their homes. From shag-carpeted bathrooms to bright avocado-green kitchens, it was all a powerful statement of a unique and creative lifestyle. Today, let's flip through a photo album of memories to discover 25 decorative items that shaped the look of an entire decade. And who knows, you might smile when you realize you once owned at least one of these iconic items. Patterned wallpaper. Plain painted walls were not a popular choice in the 70s. During this time, people especially loved bold and colorful wallpaper patterns. We saw the rise of giant floral prints, striking geometric designs, and bright colors. Sometimes people would even extend the wallpaper onto the ceiling, creating an effect that completely enveloped the space. Hanging wallpaper was also a common do-it-yourself (DIY) project for families, and although the process required careful attention to detail, the final result often brought about a huge change, making the room more lively and full of character. Each room, therefore, had its own distinct personality, often very loud and unique. While some of these patterns might look a bit overwhelming today, at the time they were considered truly stylish, even glamorous. Shag carpeting. As soon as you opened the door to a 70s home, the first thing that greeted you was the soft feeling of shag carpet under your feet. This type of carpeting started appearing in homes in the late 60s and became very popular throughout the 70s. New technology and synthetic fibers made it cheaper, turning it from a luxury item into a staple in many middle-class homes. The carpet fibers were quite long, sometimes a few inches, and usually came in bold colors like avocado-green, mustard yellow, or burnt orange. It wasn't just a floor covering, it brought a feeling of luxury and comfort to the room. Shag carpeting was everywhere, from the living room and bedrooms to even the bathroom. It paired perfectly with wood-paneled walls, creating a warm space for the whole family to sit and watch TV together. Kids especially loved it, treating it like a soft playground where they could lie down to read comics or play with small toys. However, keeping it clean was a challenge. The vacuum cleaner seemed to struggle to get all the dirt hidden deep inside. Sometimes people even had to use a special carpet rake to keep the fibers from getting matted. Dirt clung to it easily, and sometimes small things like a safety pin, a coin, or a piece of a Lego toy could fall in and never be found again. Still, the feeling of walking barefoot on that carpet is a pleasant memory for many people. Even though you don't see it much today, the memory of its softness and warmth lives on in the minds of those who lived through that time. Floating stairs. If you had a two-story home, you might have seen floating stairs. At first glance, they might have looked a little dangerous, but they were definitely a statement piece in 1970s home design. This design often used materials like wood, metal, concrete, or glass, and it offered a simple, elegant look that fit right in with the modern and minimalist style of the 70s. Some of the standout floating stair designs from that era were inspired by simple shapes, using details like steps mounted directly to the wall or having just a single support beam. This created a strong visual effect and a feeling of open, airy space. Floating stairs weren't just a way to get from one floor to another, they became a signature artistic feature in modern homes of the 70s. Beanbag chairs. In the corner of a living room or a teenager's bedroom back then, there was often a big, soft beanbag chair. Basically, it was just a large vinyl or fabric bag filled with polystyrene beads. But it was a comfortable alternative to traditional chairs. You could find them in many places, from family rooms and kids' rooms to college dorms. These chairs came in bright colors like orange, lime green, or yellow, adding a youthful touch to the room. You could easily shape the chair into any position you wanted, making it perfect for relaxing, watching TV, or listening to music on a record player. The rustling sound of the beads when someone sat down was a familiar household sound during those years. Kids especially loved them, seeing them as not just a chair, but a fort, a trampoline, and a companion during playtime. But while sitting down was easy, getting up from a beanbag chair was sometimes a real challenge that required a bit of skill and caused a lot of laughter. Parents often had to refluff the chairs after they got flattened from too much use. Today, beanbag chairs are less common and are often thought of as furniture for kids, but they still bring back memories of the relaxed and carefree vibe of the 70s. Hide-a-bed couch. When living space was limited, the 70s had a solution that was both familiar and creative: the hide-a-bed couch. By day, it looked just like a regular sofa, often covered in the bright, patterned fabrics typical of the decade, but with just a few pulls and flips, it would instantly turn into a convenient bed for guests at night. This wasn't just a piece of furniture. It was proof of how flexible life was back then. A room could change its function in a flash, from a living room to a bedroom, or from a home office to a place to rest. Thanks to their smart design, many models could be folded neatly into a wall or a closet, freeing up valuable space for family life. For many people, the hide-a-bed couch is also tied to warm memories of visiting relatives. Anyone who stayed overnight probably remembers the feeling of lying on a thin mattress, where you could sometimes feel the metal bar of the frame underneath. But it was the convenience and the spirit of hospitality it represented that made it so special. It wasn't perfect, but it stood for a time when connection and sharing were more important than perfect comfort. Lava lamps. One of the most memorable decorations of the 70s was the lava lamp, even though it first appeared in the 60s. This lamp created a pretty unusual sight, with colorful blobs of wax floating up and down in a liquid solution. Their movement was very slow and random, creating a dance of color and shape. There were many different color combinations, from the classic red and yellow to colors like blue and green. Many people had a habit of turning on the lamp and just watching the wax move, which created a relaxing feeling. They were perfect for creating a relaxed atmosphere during get-togethers with friends or simply for unwinding. The soft, glowing light from the lamp helped create a cozy and intimate space. While they weren't very useful for lighting up a room, the aesthetic value and the relaxing mood it created were undeniable. Did you ever own a lamp like this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Wood paneling. Walls covered in wood paneling were a very typical feature of 70s interiors. Whether it was real wood or just a wood veneer look-alike, it gave homes a dark and warm tone. From the living room and dining room to the basement rec room, these panels created a cozy feeling, like being in a small log cabin, a safe and warm cocoon. It was a practical choice at the time. Wood paneling could hide imperfections on the walls very well and was also easy to clean, which was great for families with young children. The brown color of the wood became a familiar backdrop, pairing well with other earthy toned furniture like a burnt orange sofa or an avocado-green carpet. Hanging a picture on a wood-paneled wall is also a memory. You had to find just the right spot between the panels to hammer in a small nail. These walls witnessed countless birthday parties, family gatherings, and Friday movie nights. They helped create a space where everyone felt truly relaxed, a cozy retreat from the outside world. Although design trends have changed now in favor of lighter colored walls, the image of those wood walls remains a part of the memory of the simplicity and security of a family home. Sunburst clocks. On the living room wall or above the fireplace, there was often a decoration that was both a clock and a piece of art, the sunburst clock. Although they originated in the 50s, they became a decorative icon of the 70s. Their design was quite striking, with a small clock face in the center, often made of shiny metal or rustic wood, surrounded by sharp rays shooting out in all directions, looking like a shining sun. This brilliant design made them a standout feature in any space, from the living room and kitchen to above the fireplace, where they served as both a timepiece and a piece of wall art. What made these clocks so popular was how well they blended with the interior design style of that era. When paired with warm wood paneling and natural earthy color palettes, they created a look that was classic yet modern, elegant yet cozy. They weren't just useful items, they were symbols of the creative spirit and unique taste of an entire generation. Avocado-green appliances. In the 1970s, no color could compete with the appeal of avocado green in the American kitchen. From the shiny refrigerator and the serious-looking stove to even the dishwasher, this color was everywhere across the country, a symbol of the lifestyle of the time. It wasn't just a coat of paint. It was a bold statement, reflecting a generation's love for earthy color palettes and natural beauty. When paired with warm brown wood cabinets and durable vinyl flooring, avocado-green created a cozy, rustic atmosphere where every family meal became an unforgettable memory. The enamel metal coating on these appliances was very durable, which is why we can still sometimes find an old avocado-green fridge still working somewhere. For those who grew up in the 70s, this color not only brings back childhood memories, but also tells the story of a time when people tried to bring nature into their homes, clearly, powerfully, and full of life. Which avocado-green item was your favorite in the kitchen back then? Share it with us in the comments. Fondue Sets. In the 70s, it would have been hard to find a party-loving home without a fondue set. What started as a cozy Swiss tradition quickly won over America, turning ordinary dinners into lively gatherings. The room would fill with laughter as everyone gathered around the steaming pot, some dipping bread into melted cheese, others dipping strawberries into sweet chocolate, or pieces of meat sizzling in hot oil. It wasn't just food, it was the art of connection. If you ever owned a fondue set, you probably bought it from popular department stores like Macy's or Sears, where they were displayed as a symbol of elegance and trendiness. With a variety of designs and vibrant colors, from burnt orange and earthy yellow to deep brown, they fit in perfectly with the bold taste of the era. And the best part? The feeling when someone brought the fondue set to the table. Nobody had to say much. Everyone just knew the night was going to be special. It was a promise of long conversations, strong connections, and the simple joy of sharing one pot together. TV trays. Weeknights in the 70s were often about the whole family eating dinner in front of the television screen. To make this happen, portable dinner tables, also known as TV trays, became an essential item. These small foldable tables were designed for convenient and portable dining, allowing you to enjoy your dinner right in front of the TV without having to sit at the formal dining table. They usually came in a set, stored neatly in a corner when not in use, and were only brought out for those relaxing evenings when a formal meal wasn't needed. The tabletops were often decorated with simple floral patterns, birds, or peaceful landscapes. Although they weren't exactly high-end furniture, they were very practical and a symbol of a relaxed lifestyle where time together was a priority. Even if it meant sacrificing a bit of formal dining etiquette, you could easily find these TV trays at most major department stores of the time, like Sears or JCPenney, where they were widely sold to meet the needs of modern families. Vinyl record players. In the 70s, if you truly loved music, nothing was more important than the vinyl record player in your living room. Before the era of Spotify, iTunes, or digital downloads, placing a vinyl record on the turntable was the only way to immerse yourself in music completely, authentically, and emotionally. Whether it was smooth soul, vibrant disco, or explosive rock, the moment the needle touched the record and made that first crackling sound, it always made your heart skip a beat. Record players came in all shapes and sizes, from large, elegant wooden consoles that looked like classic furniture to small, portable models ready to go with you to any party. Legendary brands like RCA or Sony didn't just sell a music player, they offered a symbol to be displayed, to be proud of, and to connect with. More than just a music machine, the record player was the soul of intimate gatherings where friends would gather, pass around newly released albums, and listen and share their passion. That feeling of excitement when you tore off the paper sleeve, lifted the shiny black record out of its cover, and placed it on the turntable to wait for the first notes to play, that wasn't just music, it was a ritual. It was a moment of deep connection between people and sound, something that's hard for modern technology to replicate. Rotary phones. Before smartphones, the familiar sound in every home was the clicking of a rotary phone. With its sturdy Bakelite plastic design and round dial, it was the main way everyone communicated. Making a call back then was quite a process. You had to put your finger in each number slot, turn the dial clockwise until it stopped, and then let go to hear that familiar click-clack sound as it spun back. You did this over and over for each digit, which took patience and precision. If the phone number had a lot of nines or zeros, it took a little longer. When the phone rang with its loud mechanical ring, there was always a little bit of suspense because there was no caller ID. The person on the other end could be your grandma, a friend, or anyone at all. These phones were usually placed in plain sight, like on a kitchen counter or a small table in the hallway. Its long, coiled cord allowed the person talking to walk around a little bit, sometimes stretching the cord as far as it could go to get a little privacy in a corner of the room. It was a place where family members spent hours talking and sharing, where important news was announced and weekend plans were made. Macrame plant hangers. In the 70s, bringing greenery indoors became a trend as people wanted their home spaces to feel closer to nature. To display these plants, people often used macrame plant hangers. This art of hand-knotting cords became very popular as people favored a natural, down-to-earth bohemian style of decorating. Ropes or cotton cords were skillfully knotted into hanging baskets of various designs, often decorated with large wooden beads. They were both decorative and helped save space by hanging plants from the ceiling. You could easily find them at craft fairs or make them yourself with kits sold at Woolworths and Kmart. But macrame didn't stop there. It found its way into every corner of the house, from curtains and room dividers to wall hangings. The most beloved symbol was the macrame owl with its big round wooden eyes, which was both quirky and warm. It wasn't just a decorating trend, it was a memory of a time when people tried to embrace nature in their everyday lives. If this trip down memory lane made you feel nostalgic, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so we can explore more forgotten stories together. Waterbeds. In the 1970s, nothing said luxury and modernity quite like a waterbed. It was originally created for medical purposes, but it soon went far beyond its original intent and became the piece of furniture everyone wanted in their bedroom. Owning a waterbed back then meant you were touching the future, a completely different sleeping experience where the mattress hugged every curve of your body, promising a peaceful sleep like never before. Do you remember that feeling? The moment you laid down, your body would gently sway as if you were floating on a calm wave. It wasn't just sleep, it was deep relaxation, something a traditional mattress could hardly offer. Couples loved it for its romantic comfort, and kids couldn't resist the fun of bouncing on its soft surface, even though parents were always telling them not to. Waterbeds were often set in a sturdy wooden frame, sometimes with a headboard that had shelves or a small lamp, making them part of a modern lifestyle. Although they later fell out of fashion due to maintenance issues and the risk of leaks, in the 70s, the waterbed was the centerpiece of many bedrooms, a symbol of novelty, ultimate relaxation, and an era that dared to try bold new things. Console stereo. If the portable record player was the choice for young people, then in the living rooms of families, the presence of a console stereo was the true symbol of elegance. Whether you loved soul, disco, or rock, you couldn't help but feel a thrill at the first crackle after placing a vinyl record on the player. Record players were once in every home in all shapes and sizes. There were large, heavy wooden console models with a classic, stately look, as well as smaller, portable versions that were convenient for trips. Big-name brands like RCA or Sony created machines that not only played music, but were also a source of pride for their owners, displayed neatly in the living room like a piece of fine furniture. But the true value of the record player was in the moments it brought people together. It was when a group of friends gathered around, put a new album on the turntable, and got lost in the music, filling the cozy room. Opening each record was a ritual, carefully sliding it out of its sleeve, gently placing it under the needle, and then listening for the crackle before the melody burst forth. That experience wasn't just about listening to music. It was about feeling every note, every word, creating a sacred connection that only vinyl could provide, something today's generation can hardly find in digital music. Harvest Gold Decor. If avocado-green brought a cool freshness, then Harvest Gold was the explosive color of the 70s, a warm, brilliant shade like the afternoon sun, finding its way into every nook and cranny of the house. From the lively kitchen to the cozy living room, Harvest gold was everywhere, on shiny countertops, on modern-looking appliances, and even on curtains gently swaying in the breeze. It wasn't just a color, it was a style statement, replacing the monotony of white and gray and reflecting a generation's desire to return to nature and freedom. When paired with warm wood paneling or thick shag carpets, Harvest Gold turned a space into a familiar sanctuary where you could let go of all your stress and just relax. From the throw pillows in the living room to your mom's favorite refrigerator, this color breathed an energetic life into the home, vibrant, youthful, and connected. It wasn't just a decorative color, it was the soul of an era, taking us back to a cheerful, relaxed atmosphere where everything seemed to be filled with excitement. Popcorn ceilings. When you look up at the ceiling of a house built in the 70s, you often see a bumpy surface. That's a popcorn ceiling. This textured coating, also known as an acoustic ceiling, was very popular back then. Builders liked them because it was a quick and cheap way to hide imperfections on the ceiling surface, like imperfect drywall joints. Instead of spending a lot of effort to smooth and paint it, they could just spray on a layer of this mixture and be done. Additionally, its bumpy texture helped reduce echo in the room, so it was often used in living rooms, bedrooms, and hallways. This look also added a cozy feel to the house. Although they can be dusty and hard to clean today, the textured look of popcorn ceilings added a cozy element, giving the house a softer, more insulated feel. While they have fallen out of favor in modern home design and are often removed during renovation projects, seeing a popcorn ceiling can take you back to a time when this method was common, a time when convenience and efficiency were highly valued in construction. Velvet paintings. In the world of 70s decor, there was a rather unique art form, velvet paintings. These pieces often depicted images like tigers, Aztec warriors, moonlit landscapes, or pictures of Elvis Presley, painted on a black velvet background. The black velvet material made the painted colors stand out and look vibrant, creating an almost glowing effect, especially under dim lighting. While some might consider them a bit kitsch, velvet paintings fit right in with the eclectic decorating style of the era. They were often hung in prominent places in the living room or rec room, making a bold statement and becoming a conversation piece. Wicker furniture. Wicker furniture was a hallmark of 1970s home decor, bringing a natural, airy feel to living spaces, patios, and sunrooms. Made from woven rattan or other plant-based materials, wicker chairs, sofas, and tables were lightweight yet durable, and they fit perfectly with the decades' love for organic, natural textures. They were often paired with macrame plant hangers and lots of houseplants to create a relaxed, bohemian atmosphere. In particular, the peacock wicker chair, with its high, fan-shaped back, became an iconic piece, often used as a stylish spot for taking photos. To add comfort, wicker furniture usually came with thick seat cushions covered in brightly patterned fabrics. Polaroid cameras. In an age when taking pictures meant taking film to be developed and then waiting, the arrival of the Polaroid camera was a miracle. This technology allowed people to take and print a color photo instantly. The novelty of snapping a picture, hearing the motor push the photo out, and then watching the image slowly appear in your hands captivated everyone, making the Polaroid camera, especially the iconic SX70 model, a very common household item. It was also very simple to use. Just point and shoot. Do you remember the excitement of shaking that little square film, waiting for the picture to develop, and then passing it around for everyone to see? It's an unforgettable memory for many people. Each Polaroid picture became a small keepsake, a tangible piece of a moment that had passed, with its signature white border. They were pinned to bulletin boards, taped into albums, and captured everyday moments, birthday parties, and family vacations instantly and authentically. Brown leather recliners. In the living room of many 70s families, there was often a brown leather recliner. This was the symbol of ultimate comfort and relaxation. These large plush chairs, often made by brands like Lazy Boy, were typically upholstered in genuine or faux leather in a deep chocolate brown color. The leather, which might have been a bit stiff at first, would soften over time, developing a unique patina that recorded hours of rest. This chair was usually placed in the best spot, right in front of the TV, and was where dads would relax after a long day of work. With just a pull of a lever on the side, the chair would recline and the footrest would pop up, turning it into the perfect place to take a nap or watch a football game. Conversation pits. For the truly stylish homes, there was a unique architectural feature called a conversation pit. This was an area built lower than the main floor of the room. You had to walk down a few steps to get into it, and it was surrounded by long cushioned benches, creating a separate cozy space for gatherings. In the center of the pit, there was often a low coffee table or a fireplace, which added to the intimate atmosphere. The idea behind this design was to create a space that encouraged face-to-face interaction without the distraction of a television. While they were certainly creative and unique, offering a bold design style, conversation pits could also be dangerous for small children or the elderly, since they were essentially a hole without a protective railing. This might have led to a few unfortunate accidents at fancy 70s parties. Another version of the conversation pit was the on-ground pit, created using modular furniture, which was also very popular in the 1970s. Depending on how you arranged the pieces, you could create a great setting for a group chat. Home organ. In the corner of the living room or rec room next to the console stereo, there was often another popular musical instrument, the home electric organ. Seen as a more affordable and modern alternative to the piano, the organ brought live music into many homes. Brands like Hammond or Lowry produced organs with wooden casings and built-in rhythms and preset sounds like bossa nova or waltz, allowing even beginners to play simple tunes. It wasn't just an instrument, it was an entertainment center. During family gatherings, people would often gather around the organ, singing familiar songs together, creating warm family moments. Although these trends are no longer common in modern life, they still hold a special place in the memories of those who lived through that time. Share your memories and thoughts about these items in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe so we can take more meaningful trips down memory lane together.